Hello to the world and to the kingdom citizens. I greet you in the precious holy name of Yeshua Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, who said in his word, John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Hi, I'm Dr. John Curry, Ambassador Pan-African, and welcome to the Embassy of the Kingdom of Heaven on Earth. If you want to follow this podcast, please subscribe to JC Global Embassy TV 1. Ring the bell and hit the thumbs up button. Today I have a message for you. It is entitled, The Classroom, Education, Indoctrination, or the Prison Plantation. The Classroom, Education, Indoctrination, or the Prison Plantation. I want to talk to you about the classroom, talk to you about school. We'll be talking about the SAT, ACT test, and we'll be talking about probably one of the most important things that I'm going to bring to you is about most classrooms are single gender types of classroom. They are designed for females only. And what I want to talk about is to get you to understand that our children are basically being indoctrinated while being posed as being educated. And for Black children, it is much different because we learn in a different way. And I want you to just listen to this particular teaching that I'm going to give you today. I've done a lot of teaching in different types of schools. I substitute teach. I have my own academy training boys to men and girls to women. And I've learned over the years that there are certain ways that different kids learn, and particularly Black versus white and other groups. One of the major things that I've come to find out is that 70% of all D's and F's are earned by boys. 70% of all D's and F's are earned by boys. Boys are roughly 2.5 times likely to be suspended or expelled from school than girls. I want to say it again. Boys are roughly 2.5 times likely to be suspended or expelled from school than girls. In 2018 through 2019, the National Center for Education Statistics has available data. 72% of all expulsion, that means that are being expelled from school or suspension, were boys. In particularly, out of the 72%, I believe was more than maybe 70 or 70% of those were Black boys. In order to know how a school or a college is doing, here's a question that you must ask. It's a question that I ask when I go do presentations at schools, and from grade schools all the way up to colleges. I ask this fundamental question. And that question is, how are the boys doing? How are the boys doing? Because how the boys are doing will give you a great understanding of what the school is doing in order to teach the young men, the young Black African-American males, and also as well as the young Black African-American females. Because if the boys are not doing good, they are most likely to be taught that they are not basically doing what they need to do, and many times the system wants to expel them or give them expulsions, and before you know it, they're moving from the classroom to the prison pipeline. And as a result of that, they spend most of their time quitting school, dropping out of school, because they cannot get along with what or who is teaching them. This is not good for young Black males in particular. Also, we must understand what's going on in these schools is that, which makes it not good, is that some 83%, and now they're saying some 79% of all teachers throughout public schools are white female teachers. 83%, and the statistics, that was in the 70s, and statistics has dropped a little bit to 79%. They say that all the teachers that are teaching in public schools are white female teachers. 9% of those teachers are Hispanics, and 7% of those teachers are Black. It's really hard to learn from someone that don't look like you, because there's a different way of teaching. When someone looks like you, you're more likely to want to hear what they have to say. But if the teachers are coming in the classroom thinking that they're better, acting like they're better, and treating you like you can't learn, the tendency is that you cannot learn from that person or that particular teacher. We must always celebrate the excellency of our students. Always. But how do we do that? The National Survey of Students in Indiana University Educational Center, post-secondary, here's what they said. They said this: the ACT scores and the SAT scores, here's how they range. The Asians back in the 70s were scoring 1600s, and they were spending more than 12 hours of study a week. Today, their SAT and ACT scores are 24.2, and they're spending anywhere between 6 to 9 hours, thus 45 hours a week. Now with the Caucasian or the whites, in the 70s, there was 1582 as far as the ACT score. Today, they're 20.5. Their average back then was 8 hours of study a week, and now it's 6 hours a week. It seems like their numbers are shifting. The African American or the Black students in the 70s were ACT scores, SAT scores was 1291. Today it went up, it's 16.0. Back in the 70s, 1 hour study a week. Now just think about that. We want our children to exceed, we want our children to do great, but as parents, we let them study for 1 hour a week. And today that would basically be about maybe 45 minutes and for a whole day and maybe 4 hours a week. And we wonder why, as Black folks, that we're behind. We're behind because the school cannot do the work that your children need to do while at home. The school cannot do the work. The principals cannot do the work. The teachers cannot do the work. They have to do their homework. And in the process of them doing their homework, the parents must ensure that the children get their work done on time before they get to school. Now, I do understand, as I will share with you, that there are different types of methodologies of teaching and for students. There are learning styles. Some students want to learn by doing. Other students learn by hearing. Other students want to put their hands on it. A lot of students want to be able to do what they're due by being interactive with the teacher. So it depends on the teacher and their learning style. So with African Americans, it is said that the time spent is 38 hours on TV time and 18 hours on rap. That was in the 70s. Okay. Children from other countries are taught to go to the distance, such as Africans. Now, Africans that live on the continent of Africa, they spend more time studying. In America, our Black children have a tendency to get caught up in everything. And today, you got Facebook, you got all this other stuff going on. So it's hard for them to narrow down. Well, I believe that if you take your children's cell phone from them when they're at home and don't give it back to them until they finish their studies and use the phone as a reward, that you got to put 2 hours in. And once you put your 2 hours in and we review your 2 hours of study, then we'll give you your phone back, and you only can have it then for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and it's time to go to bed. But what we do many times as Black families, we want to give the children, we want to give them the reward before they understand that there's a struggle. We want them to always act like that everything is fine while we are holding them back because the reward must be delayed. They must prove themselves that they can study and they can do what they need to do to get their grades up. It was a study done back in 1970 that finds that different types of learning styles. It says that the African American learning style is a little different than the European learning style. And the Europeans, this person discovered two types of learning styles that can be broken down to African Americans versus Europeans. And I want to share those with you. The European white have a left brain cognitive learning style. A left brain cognitive learning style. The left brain simply means that it moves in logical, analytical, which means books and etc. The left brain says that the Europeans like to sit down and they like to learn by sitting. They like to learn by being stationary. The kids learn by going through a ritual of analytical and logistical types of studying. And this system is the American system that is set up for the left brain learning style. So America's system is set up for the left brain learning style. And as a result, when the kids take their ACT who happen to be white, they're already been in that learning style and they already know what their history is about. They already know it. So when they go and take an ACT test or even an Asian, they go and get high scores because that's what it's designed to do, is to help them with their left brain learning style. Well, the opposite is true when you get to African or Black people. The African American learning style is a right brain learning style. Right brain learning style is the orientation to learn from the right brain, which is creative, which is intuitive, which is subject, means they learn from a person and not from an object. Let me say it again. Right brain learning style is orientation learning style, is right brain, which is creative. It's also intuitive, meaning that the young Black boys, young Black girls, they learn from a subject. They learn from a person and not an object. Meaning this, when Black children are learning, they want to hear some type of story. They learn from a subject, they learn from a person. And the more the right brain learn that way, the kids become more creative. In other words, if a teacher is teaching, you'll find many times young students will come up to the desk and the teacher begin to teach to them and they learn it real quickly. So they learn from a person, they learn from a subject. Now the book can be an addition, but the book does not teach them because they're learning from the person. Therefore, when they get their homework and when dad or mom wants to come in and ask them questions about it, they learn even faster because they learn from a subject. Our brain is very creative. And that's how we learn. That's how they remember things. That's how their memorization get improved, because they learn from a subject. They do not learn from an object. Okay, they don't learn from just sitting down and doing nothing. They learn from a subject, a person. That's why when Black teachers are in the classroom, the GPA of the students goes up. Why? Because Black teachers teach from a Black perspective, meaning that from a right brain subject matter creative style. In other words, they get the kids involved. The kids understand how things are supposed to go. But with the European learning style, it says, get this book or go over there and sit down and learn. Well, they're not getting the feedback that they need to get. So therefore, the intuitiveness in the right brain is not being creative because they're not getting the feedback for the brain to be creative. So I just wanted to let you know that are we educating our kids or indoctrinating our children to go to prison plantation? Is it education? Remember the classroom, education, indoctrination, or prison plantation. And many of it starts in the classroom. We have all of these white female teachers that are so-called in educating or indoctrinating these black kids, and then we wonder why they quit, they drop out, and they go do things because the teachers does not make it interesting. With black teachers, we're naturally going to make it interesting. It's going to be creative. It's going to be something that kids can go home and remember. It's going to be a type of way where the children can't wait to go back to school to be with their teacher. Why? I was one of those students. I was one of those students where I never missed a day of school because our teachers made the classroom very, very creative and very interesting, and it made me want to learn more. I was afraid that if I missed a day, I was going to miss out on a lot of stuff. So I couldn't wait to get in the classroom. So we have to look at the educational system from the perspective of different types of learning style. Again, European whites have left brain cognitive learning style. They learn, left brain is logical, analytical, with books, etc. America's system is set up for left brain learning style. Now, as far as the African American or black students, we have a right brain subject orientation learning style. Right brain is creative, intuitive. Subject means they learn from the person and not the object. Black children want to hear a story. They learn from the subject, meaning the teacher, the oral presentation through the culture. And I just want you to pass that on. You can maybe share it with someone else. That don't beat your children up too much because you say they're not learning. It may not just be that they're not learning. It may be the particular type of learning style that the teachers are teaching them in. Remember, our students are the most brilliant. They are the most excellent. They are the most creative. And yes, our students, black students, are the most resilient. All we have to do is teach them in a way where they can learn and want to learn, and then we can watch them go on and be great scholars, be great business person, be great inventors, be great people all over the world. Just wanted to pass that on to you. Dr. Curry, JC Global. I hope that you can receive this, and I hope it will be a blessing for you and for your children. God bless. Until next time.